A very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evans Okinyi, and I'm quite pleased to have you on board on Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show. I'm here with the Deputy Party Leader of Sabina Party, Wakili Willis Otieno. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes. The dailies are reporting of the surge in crime rate in the country. It is being attributed to the rise in unemployment levels. We are here, we wonder when these killings will actually end, but that is it. And of course, dailies are also reporting of the president creating two sets of Kenyans to the taxes that have been brought here on board. And of course, the issue of unemployment is at the center here. Recently, of course, the courts gave a nod to the president to continue collecting the housing levy, something which had been touted by the president to help cure the unemployment crisis that we are facing as a nation. Tell me, do you think that perhaps the dailies are right? Are they okay to say that, look, we are at this problem because of the unemployment that the government has failed to cure?
You know, Kenya, we can sit here and pontificate and talk, even debate this issue. But the reality, out here, our young people who are jobless, who can barely earn a living per day, they are growing in droves. It is now almost a guarantee that you finish university or college or TVET, you are guaranteed that there will be no job for you. That is what is sure. Getting a job is now luck. And these are humans we're talking about. Somebody has done everything according to book. You are told to be a good child, you are a good child. Told go to school, you went to school. Got your certificate and qualifications, you got them. Then the society fails you. Because there are no jobs that can be created that you can do that is commensurate with your qualification. And even the odd jobs that you're now forced to do are not enough. But you're a human being. You must live. You must eat. You must meet your basic needs. And to achieve all of this, you must have money. There's no production taking place here. So as we pontificate on the table, the reality on the ground is dire. I've been to situations where you see somebody struggling to just get 50 shillings. These are grown up. Just 50 shillings for the day. And they cannot get it. Now that is the legacy of William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza to Kenyans. And why do I blame them? Because a government, I'm not even saying government should create jobs. A government should create an enabling environment that can foster production. Once they foster production, when majority of people are engaged in productive acts, there will be opportunities available across the board. Kenya Kwanza is intentionally impoverishing our people. They want you to be so poor that come election time, you cannot question them. You'll be given 100 shillings, that's enough for you to go and vote for them. But they're dealing with a different generation. These Kenyans that I meet on the streets, they may be poor, but they're not stupid. They understand what the problem is. And I'll tell you, some people sometimes argue that no, government cannot employ everybody. Yes, government cannot employ everybody. But government comes up with policies that is supposed to foster growth and development. Let me give you an example. My pet project is debt. When government goes to borrow at 18% interest rate from the domestic market, government has mopped all the money. The banks have an appetite to only now lend to government, not to the private sector. They can't lend you money because they prefer to give money to government, because there's a sovereign guarantee. So government is the one that is now trading with the banks. So the only people going to declare profits are banks. Why? Because they know they lend the same money to government. Government will come to you, the people, increase your taxes, take whatever little in your pocket, give the banks a high interest rate. Bank again lends to the same government. They come to you, release your pockets, get money to pay the banks. Then they're earning profits. Okay. But you have no production taking place. You have no access to capital. There's nobody who can go to a bank today and say, I want a loan of 100 million to do a project. Because you walk into a bank, at your request of 100 million, you'll be told your interest rate is 25%, 20% interest rate. Right? Why are they saying high interest rate? They prefer to lend to government, not to you. In fact, they don't want you. The interest rate you are being given is just to chase you away. But even if you say you take the leap of faith and you take it, right away that's an unperforming loan. Yeah, you'll not be able to finance that project. You'll not be able to pay the interest rate. That is why you go to auctioneers' yards today. Kenyans are being auctioned right, left, and center. In the dailies, the most advertised product is the auctioneers' pages. People are not able to perform. They're not able to pay their loans. So, just one policy. Government is borrowing from the domestic market, has denied the private sector, has denied so many Kenyans access to capital. So they cannot do anything. And the government takes the money and eat it. There is no project they are doing. Because if the government was borrowing this money to do a project, do a road, that road project will spur growth. Government takes the money from you, that now they want to become landlords, to build houses. Look at the affordable housing, another policy. The cost of the so-called affordable housing is even more than the cost that the private sector offers for similar houses. But what have they done? They have denied you access to mortgage facility. You cannot go to a bank and take a loan of 10 million to build a flat. The bank prefers to lend to the government. But if the interest rate, the government is also borrowing from the bank, the interest rates will fall drastically because these banks have money. And with this money, they need to make profits. So they'll start begging you to finance your ideas. Interest rate will be 5%, 4%, 3%. Because Equity will come with their rate. I'll give you a loan at 3%. Stanchart will come and say, we'll give you at 2.5. Family Bank will tell you at 1.5 or 1 year grace period you're not paying. So people, they'll be competing amongst themselves to access the market. And then Kenyans in their numbers who have access to capital will be able to engage in economic activity. They'll be doing production work. When they are doing an economic activity, there will be circulation of money in the economy. There will be increased consumption. So government collects more in consumption tax. These young people will be employed in those sectors of production. They'll be paying pay as you earn. Government will just sit back and collect the tax to use it to further develop the country. But if government comes to your own space to compete with you in terms of accessing capital, it's an oxymoron. It's stupid.
Okay.
It's stupid. Okinyi, it annoys me. The economic minds that are in Kenya Kwanza, they are thick in the head, if you ask me. Because these are basic economics. Look at the Western liberal economies that have flourished, and even the ones in the Asian tigers. The number one thing is access to capital. So if you apply supply-side economics, you remove the barriers that are stopping people from accessing capital. Remove those barriers. Allow people to access capital. And people have ideas. The individual has great ideas to produce. The individual, when it's his own project, he is more efficient. He is not caught up in bureaucracy. He's going to give it his all. Because he wants to gain profit within the shortest time possible. So that is just one. So we must lay the blame squarely on government. The other thing they'll tell you now that, oh, the economy is doing well because there is unga. The price of unga is now 100 bob from 150. I mean, that's nonsense. You don't measure an economy based on the consumption of ugali. And the simple answer to why the price of unga has dropped is right here. What they've done, they've simply reduced the circulation of money in the economy. So while last month, when the unga was going at 150, it was a bit easier to access 100 Kenya shillings. Now it is 100 shillings. It is harder to access that 100 shillings. Okay? And the farmers who produced in bulk are struggling to sell what they have. They are not seeing people buying at 150 because there's no money circulating in the economy. So the farmers are forced to bear the loss, the burden, to bring it down to 100. But still at that 100, why are Kenyans still complaining? Because getting the 100 Kenya shillings is difficult. So they've even reduced the access to money. So there's no money circulating. Go to the villages. I always give this classic example. If you want to know there's no money circulating, just anybody look at your 100 shillings or 50 shillings note, wherever you are. It is very difficult to find a crisp new 50 shillings note in the villages. You'll find 150 shillings note that is creased, torn, and tired. What does that tell you? That 50 shillings note has done the run around the country. The same 50 shillings note that was used in Sokomjenga market has found itself in Meru, in Kubu market. From Kubu it goes to Mandera. From Mandera it comes back to Nairobi. From Nairobi it is in Kisumu. From Kisumu it goes to Homa Bay. Homa Bay to Turukana. Turukana to Mombasa. This 50 shillings note is circulating in this economy. There is no news 50 shillings note coming in.
Okay.
So it tells you when you start seeing very old currency that there is no money circulating in the economy. The little that is there is what is being used over and over again. So there is no new product that is coming into the market.
So this entire problem rolls down to government policies. And
yes, and it's a failure of what I call the demand side economics.
Recently, I found myself in one of the hospitals in the country, and I met this engineer by the name Engineer Kara. Actually, he'd gone there for some sort of medical checkup, and we got into some sort of discussion, and he was telling me that back then he's somehow, let me say, pretty old, but then he's still working. He told me back then things were a little bit different, like in the 80s and all that. He told me already at second year, he already had 2 job offers, and actually was poached from that particular moment. So while these people are actually in school, they're already working. When you compare that kind of time versus how we find ourselves right now, is it that times have changed, or what factors have changed?
Don't go far. Don't even go back to the 80s. I was admitted to be an advocate on the 3rd of October of 2009. Very recently. Actually, 1st of October 2009 was my admission date. On the 3rd of October, I had 3 job offers on my table. 3. My friends, within our circle of friends, one had another set of 3, another one had 2, one had 4. In fact, we will sit down to compare which one do we take. I'm not taking this one, you take this one. We pulled all of them together. So a group of 4 people, on the table we had 9 job offers, and we were only 4. How many can we take and then send the rest? Why? Because our economy was private sector driven. Kibaki had stopped borrowing from the domestic market. He was applying supply side economics. He was also borrowing from the domestic market. Private sector had access to capital. People are doing so many innovative things across the country. They're looking for manpower. It's that simple. But these ones cannot understand it. These are demand side economists. Their model has failed and it cannot work. What I say is that Kenyans are now more woke. They are more enlightened. They can see through. What this Kenya Kwanza and Ruto is trying to do is to diminish the capacity of Kenyans. You collapse the country, then you are the only one who remains with capital, with money. Then you start acquiring the prime jewels, the national assets, at a song. Then everybody else becomes your slave. It's intentional. This is what my party leader Jimmy Wanjigi calls planned poverty.
And that is where I was coming to.
It is planned poverty. It is designed for you to be poor. So that 60% of you should never rise.
Talk to us about this planned poverty kind of.
Planned poverty is a pyramid. At the top is 10% ruling class. The middle, 30%. That's the so-called middle class. And at the bottom are the masses. So in planned poverty, 60% of the population are perpetually meant to be poor. Then they should only be focusing on tumbo, what to eat today. That is why you see Kenya Kwanza and Ruto and Lee all they talk about is price of ugali. Your concern when you wake up in the morning is tumbo, how to put something in your stomach. That is for the 60% of the population. So they will do everything to make sure that all you care about is food in your stomach, period. Then you go to the middle, the so-called 30% middle class. To them also, they are given little comfort. But they are caught up in mortgage schemes that are very expensive. The healthcare system is not working. They have to rely on private healthcare. And they must be beholden to their jobs. Because you just know one slight mistake like this, you'll join the Tumbo group. Right? And the intention is they should never focus on the 10%. So the entire wealth of the nation is controlled by the 10%. So everybody down the pyramid is serving the 10%. So you only have few people with money. That's what they're doing to you. That's demand side economics. As we are saying, supply side. I want to see little kings everywhere, people with money. Why should we have a planned poverty? Why should we have the pyramid? What is my problem if Okinyi graduates and is running a media enterprise? He's able to access capital to put up a proper studio and employ more young people. They sell their content. Why should that be my problem? I should be happy as government that Okinyi is going to make money and pay tax. These young people that he has employed are going to spend in my economy. I'll be able to collect tax, in consumption tax, VAT, to put up development projects, roads. So why should I go to the bank to squeeze out this young entrepreneur from accessing capital? Or I take capital at 17% so that when he goes, he'll be asked to pay 25%. Where will he afford? I want to be out of that market. I should not be competing with him. The market should be begging this young man to take a credit facility at 3% interest rate. You can access a credit of even 50 million. What can't you do with that? And you have already market. You have an idea in your mind. That is how to break down this chain of colonialism. This is now neocolonialism. And it is designed to make you fail. Don't even for a moment think, when you hear anybody from Kenya Kwanza discussing with you the price of unga ugali, that is helping you. No, he is actually affirming to you that you are actually at the place where they want you to be. To only focus on your stomach. That I've eaten today, now I'm okay. Tomorrow is another day. I'll also eat. Yeah, you are comfortable at 60% poor. You have no chance to go to middle class. And middle class, because I have this small job that I'm holding on to dearly, a slight slip, and I'm down. They will not allow you, because they don't want you to focus to be part of the ruling class, to be the elite. Our society should not have a structured pyramid. Everybody, based on their ability, should be able to rise to the top.
Okay.
And there should be no top and bottom. We should all be one. Man is born free, but everywhere is in chain. It is our duty as a people to break these chains of colonialism.
In the shortest term possible, what are you going to do differently as Sabina Party?
The easiest thing is to just adopt the supply side economics. Start with removing, we don't pay odious debt. Because 80% today of our revenue that we pay, Kenya government collects, 80% of it goes to pay debt. We must look into that debt book. And in that debt book, if there's an illegal debt, an odious debt, we will not pay it. We shall not pay for any odious debt. And the people who are responsible for taking that illegal debt should pay for it. In fact, they should be in prison. Once you reduce the debt burden, the first thing that happens is this. The appetite to collect more from the people will reduce. Because if you are paying 80% of revenue to debt, now by declaring some of it odious, the number may come down to only 30%. So the people must feel the instant relief. Because now I don't have an appetite to touch their pockets, to raid their pockets to collect more money for tax. They'll feel it. Then we move into the full scale of supply side economics.
Okay.
Reduce government bureaucracy. empower the private sector, right? And you will see this economy start growing. Baka, you wonder, what magic have we done? There's no magic we've done. We've just removed government from the economy.
Okay.
And we've allowed the private sector to be the driver of economic growth. And private sector being you and her. The individuals. Not that I'm not talking about the big corporates. I'm talking about every person who is the private space being able to access credit and removing government bureaucracy. What hinders you from doing what you want to do? There's a client of mine who was trying to build a house here in Nairobi. It has taken almost 9 months to get approvals. 9 months to get approvals. What are you talking about? That's a bureaucracy that is stopping growth. Because if there are 10 of them or 100 of them, you imagine the delays. How will the economy grow with that kind of bureaucracies? Reduce bureaucracy. Approvals will be done within a week. And you have efficient mechanism of monitoring.
Okay.
So that these people can be building quickly. Because as they build, they're providing jobs. They're catalyzing the construction sector. Right? And the government collects more in revenue. Collects more in revenue, you expend in development projects. You provide essential services, healthcare. I don't have to come to you and tell you that you need to increase shift share. Nonsense. Shift share nonsense, of which the bulk of it is spent in private facilities. Nairobi West hospitals and the kind. That if you look at the percentage, 68% of NHIF money was being spent in private facilities at the expense of public facilities. Invest that money in public facilities. Increase the quality of care in public facilities. Okay. Those are the things that we will do. And that is the difference between Jimmy Willie and the others.
Finally, let just talk to us about these. Of course, we've seen the government try signing labor agreements between our country here and, of course, other countries like Germany. We also saw the other time Kenyans lining up for interviews of jobs abroad, mostly in the Middle East and all that kind of stuff. Do you think that this may be kind of a way that may help us get out of this?
How does it help you when you are doing brain drain? So Kenyans are supposed to develop other countries, not their own country. I mean, that's escapist. Then we can as well become mercenaries. We can be hired as mercenaries to go and fight other people's wars.
They are saying we don't have jobs here, so why don't we look?
So why can't you create jobs here? What I'm saying, come up with economic policy that creates jobs here. So that the Kenyan who goes to Qatar should not be going there as an economic refugee. He should be going there because he is going to earn more. Not that because he lacks. The ones going now are going because they lack. And I sympathize with them. Not all of them are happy to be out of the country, to not be with their families. But they have to do it because they have to survive, they have to live. And even now you run those labor agreements. What measures have we put in place to make sure that our people are paid for value for their money, for their work? There's no measure. The minister himself could not, that Alfred Mutua, that cartoon, could not even mention the name of the company that he was recruiting for. And you think that's a good deal? I mean, he was asked on national TV, what's the name of the company? He couldn't give the name of the company. So it tells you, it's hodgepodge. You don't even know what this person will do to Kenyans when they go there. So don't take advantage of a desperate situation to send our young people away. We need those Kenyans to develop this country. So we need to come up with economic policies that enhance production in this country, so that whatever we export becomes surplus labor that is paid a premium. When you go there as an expatriate. You are paid as an expatriate, earning high allowances. Not that you are going there because of a desperate situation back at home, and you are paid meager salaries, and you just take it because there is no other option you have. That is the difference between Kenya Kwanza, Sabina, and the others. Okay. Kenya Kwanza causes pain, Sabina promises a future.
Well, the crime rate is surging in the country, and all this is attributed to the rate of unemployment, especially among the young people. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had this conversation here with the Sabina Party Deputy Party Leader, Wakili Willis Otieno, and he says that there is actually the difference in their policy and the policy of Kenya Kwanza. Well, let's wait and see what happens. But then you can weigh in and tell us what you actually think about how this country is being run currently with respect to provision of jobs to the young people. Allow me to stop this conversation at this particular moment till we have it again. Have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.